Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Nina's Chelsea Corner. If you're new round here, I hope you're all doing well and enjoyed the first game at Stamford Bridge of the new Premier League season as much as you could have done. I know a lot of people are divided in their opinions. Some people are a lot more negative, others are more optimistic. I feel fine. It's the first game of the season. I enjoyed being back at the bridge and there were good moments. We'll discuss obviously the game in full, but it's the first game. It's a new era. Again, rewinding, deja vu from last season. New manager, it's a new system, there's new players in town and just a lot really. And we arguably had the most difficult game for our opener, and obviously Man City, who looked like they were just warming up. Another pre-season game for them, easy 3 points, but we're worlds apart at the moment. We know that the quality is just far apart. However, it was 2-0. We had our own defensive errors. We had our own just moments where we really let ourselves down, and that's why we invited the opponent to score against us. There were times in that game that I thought we could have gotten a draw, but ultimately, yeah, City were still the better team, even if they weren't at their best. So we'll get into this match review. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you're watching the content and enjoying it, please hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so if you can help out, that is always much appreciated. Get your likes in, get your comments in. I want to know how you guys are feeling after that game. But yeah, let's get straight into it. So on first glance, looking at the team selection, I thought it was interesting. I was surprised not to see Raheem Sterling, who I really thought would be playing, particularly because Man City were his two best games last season. He's obviously got the experience, and in a team with so much youngsters and new faces, I did think that he'd be playing. However, we were later told that there was a statement released from his camp expressing perhaps some discontent with Raheem Sterling not being involved in that game. I thought it wasn't the best decision to let it out literally hours before the game, and it almost seemed like a bit of a sulk, a bit of a disappointment. And I wonder, apparently he was informed on Friday that he wouldn't be involved. And with so much uncertainty in regards to who's staying and who's going, and Maresca's barely worked out who his best starting 11 is, I don't think it's fair for you to come out and be discontent yet. And obviously Maresca responded saying it was a tactical decision if he wanted, and he wants to play everyone, but at the end of the day, that's not how it's going to roll. I think Maresca is showing that he's very confident, but at the same time he's not afraid to say how it is, which is a quality that we didn't perhaps really have in Poch. I think he possibly expressed his discontent behind the scenes, but it kind of gave me flashbacks to when he was at Leicester last season saying, if you're unhappy with my system, then I can go, or it is what it is, essentially. So it seems that no player is really going to be able to be bigger or try to be bigger than the club. Obviously Raheem Sterling will take a little bit of offence because he regards himself as the more experienced, perhaps one of the leaders in the dressing room, but it's no secret to anyone that I think he's been below par to what he should have been, really, with the arrival, with the fee we paid for him, with the wages that he's on. I think we all have expected a little bit more. I said, watching him during pre-season, as someone who has been quite critical of Raheem Sterling in the past, that I'm open to giving him another chance, you know, see how he unfolds. But with so much competition in those spots, seriously, it doesn't matter who, what you're earning, and etc, you're gonna have to be impressing the manager in different ways, and that's by training, being involved anyway. So that's the Raheem Sterling situation. We'll see how that pans out in the next couple weeks with the whether he's going to be involved or what not. But yeah, so it was a surprise there to see. And Nicholas Jackson, of course, in the starting lineup, I think because I wasn't sure how fit he was with the amount of minutes he got, but obviously Maresca thought it's better to go with Jackson, who is our more experienced striker, up against Mark Gu, who has just arrived. So I think in terms of our defence, it was expected. I think that's pretty much the back four that I anticipate to see. Obviously, Sanchez in goal. We knew that was going to happen after he was picked against Inter. Midfield didn't surprise me, really. I think the only thing I was a bit shocked about was Enzo playing so far forward as he did. And I think and we'll get into that, I think our wingers were quite isolated because of that tactical decision, and I think it was very hard to play through City in the middle. I mean, it's hard to play through City as it is, and I just think that this side-to-side kind of football we were playing after we conceded was really not helping us get anywhere. So again, it's almost like an experiment for Maresca. He's yet to kind of work out and take his I just forgot what I was saying. Yeah, to take his inferences away from that game and perhaps obviously base his next team lineup from this game. So look, it's the first game. Again, I couldn't have told you who the starting 11 would have been. Neither could have other Chelsea fans, or at least 10 fans would have had different lineups. So that just goes to show that things are still working out. We've got exits still to come, perhaps some incomings as well. So things are not solidified. It is just so happens it's a shame we had to play Man City for our opener, because again, it was just always going to be too tough of a job to beat them on the opening day, with how much how disconnected we are, and how things are just not clicking yet, and there is a little bit more of a question mark surrounding our team lineups, the system and the identity and everything else. So taking all of that context in, yeah. And again, look, Man City were pressing. At times it felt like we were very much struggling to play out the back, which is obviously a big thing for Maresca. So it'll be interesting to see. And I think that's where my concern comes with Sanchez in particular when it comes to playing out the back. I still had those hold your breath moments. Even yesterday, watching him, his distribution is still, for me, a big concern. I've been apprehensive about Sanchez since he arrived. Pretty much Nottingham Forest at home when we lost was a game that he wasn't even at fault too much, yet I still saw a lot of weaknesses to his game, and I think that we could perhaps find ourselves in a situation where our goalkeeper could be letting us down. And look, I'm open to giving him time. I just don't see a lot of improvement with his distribution and the way that he performs under pressure when he's got, you know, opposition pressing, etc. Saves, yeah, had some good couple saves I think in that game as well, but equally distribution needs to be better. Played the ball off the field again a couple times. So I think defensively at times we're a little bit shaky. I think that's going to have to improve big time. And again, Man City weren't at their very best, but if they were, and you know, if we're playing them, let's say 2 months down the line, we're looking at perhaps a more extensive scoreline there. So defence, we know, needs to improve. I think the partnerships at the back are still yet to kind of be solidified. Obviously, Wesley Fofana and Levi Colwill, like what they've had 2 games together, and how many Premier League starts really together. Yeah, so Marc Cucurella, I thought, again, did his part defensively on the most, but then I think Doku was a bit too difficult to deal with, especially in the second half. Malagusto struggled up against him too when he switched sides. So I think that there is a lot still to click in. I think there is certainly, again, and I'm hoping that this comes with time, improvements to be made. But something I want to talk about, and that's obviously our midfield. And I think Enzo's been a particular talking point. He's now our captain. But the fact that he was so far up, and the fact that he was kind of this meant for a creator, but I think his first touches at times were poor. I don't think he knew exactly what he did. He was very disconnected with Jackson at times, and I thought that someone like an Nkunku or a Palmer would have been much more effective. And I think you perhaps have a greater chance of breaking down Man City playing through the middle as opposed to side and then just recycling attacks, because, you know, our wingers just struggle to get a cross off or whatever. And I think someone like an Nkunku in that role, much better. Palmer looked really isolated, Nkunku equally at times, and I just think that you're not playing to their strengths because they're supposed to be the creators in the team. you think perhaps, you know, if Pedro Neto was fit to start, he could have been occupying that left wing, and then we could have had Nkunku through the middle. I think we've seen him and Jackson link up much better, and I think they have more of a chance of doing that if he is in that position. I thought Nicholas Jackson at times, again, from what we keep saying last season, I think his decision making on the ball when it comes to that final shot or that final layoff is poor, and it's lacking, and that is why a centre forward void is still felt. We need that man that's going to put the goals away. He could have scored, and he just took too many touches once again, trying to make it comfortable on his right foot, and he's missed his opportunity because he's already got another 3-4 man now. And it's like, those decisions would perhaps be better from a guy that's got the know-how, the instinct, just know when to put the ball away, like City have with Haaland. There's no faffling around with it. He knows when to shoot, he knows when he can score, as he did again against us yesterday. So I think that truly needs to be better. In terms of the positives though, I think Roméo Lavia looked pretty decent. I think for me it was really exciting to see him because I think that's my first time watching him at Stamford Bridge. Obviously the most minutes he's got in a Chelsea shirt. He's like a new signing pretty much because we didn't see him last season at all. Very much excited to see how he gets on, and I think you don't bench him, you don't take him out of the team. You know, he is now fit and he's firing, so encourage that. He's quite physical. I've really liked his kind of the ability to turn away really quickly from, you know, a Man City player and kind of carry the ball well forward. I think he uses his body very well. Like off the ball, his work rate is really impressive. The fact that he can kind of put his body in front of a City player, the fact that he can protect the ball, and he's very aware of his surroundings, then great. Again, Lavia is a player that we're just intrigued to see. He's part of the very big money midfield signings last year that we made, and we're yet to still see that flourish. So yes guys, a lot of work in progress. I hope next game, obviously Europa League, lol, Conference League, is going to be a chance to maybe see perhaps some different players or perhaps some starts from those that came on off the bench, because again, Maresca's still working it out, and time gets thrown around at Chelsea nowadays, just to left, right and centre. But really, truly, it's a new manager. He's going to need time, isn't he, to implement his philosophy, especially when he doesn't really know which players he's actually going to have at his disposal. Yeah, but let me know how you guys are feeling in the comments down below. Overall, I'm not reading too much into it. I'm not devastated. I'm not hopeless, feeling hopeless for Chelsea this season, by no means. After the last 2 seasons, yeah, it's going to take a lot to break me down again this season, so I'm open. Let's see. We've got obviously Wolves next weekend in the Premier League. That'll be interesting. I think that is where I would like to see a result, because I think it's so important. You know, we need to kind of build this momentum now, get some wins up our sleeve. But yes guys, I hope you've enjoyed this match review. Please hit the thumbs up if you haven't done so already. Make sure you check out my fan cam on Chelsea Fan TV as well if you haven't done so already. My thoughts fresh after the game. But yes guys, I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.